Hey, 100%, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it works, man. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Sales Chatter. Today is Monday Mayhem. This here stack of topics is what we're going to choose in just a second. To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly. Okay, so here's the thing. That was probably one of the lowest energy intros we've done in a while. Well, we've done. Yeah, I was very low on that one because kind of like we're in the middle of a conversation and we look up, it's like 10 o'clock because we want to go live right away. It's like, okay, all of a sudden the conversation ends. I think we stopped like mid thought.
We were right in the middle of it. So yeah.
And hey, how many times have you done that, brother? I can't tell you how many times I'm like Hammy the squirrel on Over the Hedge when I'm in the middle of a conversation. I'm like, ooh, shiny. Ooh, we talk about that all the time. Okay, so today is Mayhem Monday. Yeah. Today is the beautiful day because DJ, we don't have any clue what the hell we're going to talk about until DJ says to stop. So for all of you that are new to your first Monday morning with us, this is the stack of topics. And not only is this a stack of topics, DJ, but I've actually added 30 new topics this weekend to this stack. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is as we continue to go for everybody watching this live. So here's some topics that I wrote down. Here's some more topics that I wrote down. Here's some more topics that I wrote down. Here's some other ones. So you can see DJ and I have
we got lots of topics.
We got lots of topics. And I figured, what a cool way to kind of add spontaneity to the conversation, to add something to these conversations is we are going to just simply do one of these. DJ is going to tell me when to stop. Whoever he tells me to stop, that's going to be the topic for today. So there's no preparation, no planning. We can stumble our way through it.
That's what I was gonna say, and there's a good chance that we are bumbling, stumbling idiots talking to. No, I'm just kidding.
100%. You know what? It's like we should have put this up on Friday, right? It's like it's the good old philosopher Ron Burgundy. On Fridays we work. All right, you ready, DJ?
Let's do it.
How are we going to start the week this week?
Let's see what we're starting with, guys. Let's stop there. That looks like a good one.
Oh. Great one. You have to believe in what you sell. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, so why don't you kick it off this morning, Mr. DJ?
Oh, that couldn't be even more perfect. So yeah.
You see how everything happens for a reason.
Everything, right? It really does. But so believing in what you sell, obviously, what we're talking about here, guys. And again, so anybody who's just joining us now, or for the first time, or all of our long followers, thank you guys for following. Jeff, Ryan, you guys know who I'm talking about. But believing what you sell, I mean, whatever you guys are selling out there, and mostly we're talking to freight brokers, but you're not selling freight. I hate to trick you that way. Selling windows, selling doors, you got to believe in what you're selling, but it's more, you got to believe in yourself. It's selling yourself. In the end, sales is just building relationships and selling yourself. And so you do, to your core, have to believe what you say and what you sell. A guy that I listened to, I think it was former military, said this. I think I said it on one of the last shows. Say what you mean what you say, and watch what you say. And so believing in the product. So first I'll go to the story of Zig Ziglar. I think we talked about this before, but Zig goes into and guys, and we'll dissect this, Dan, and I want you to hop in and dissect it as well. But so Zig goes into talking a story of talking and about believing in your product, and goes into a story of sitting down with his friend's struggling, his friend's miserable. Oh, life is bad. I can't sell these things. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting all the worst customers. They have all this is going on. Everybody I'm seeing, they don't have money. There's no this, there's no that. Man, the last customer I was with, they couldn't afford it. I get it. You know, Zig. And he says, what are you talking about? Come on. Like, what are you talking about? And Zig's looking around the whole time, and they're selling high-end kitchen equipment. looking around his kitchen, he sees other equipment, doesn't see the Zig sees other equipment, but doesn't see the stuff that they're selling. He says, "Why don't you have what we sell?" Oh, well, our bill. I just told you we're struggling with money. The kids need braces. And so Zig says to him, "Well, what do you think you're hearing when you're out there and you're trying to sell this? Oh, my kids need this," and you're sitting back there and you're saying, "Yeah, yeah, I get," but it's because he he didn't believe enough in his product. In the end, Zig talked him into buying the product, said that if he bought the product because he truly believed it was the best, like they said it was, that he would sell more than enough to pay for it and 10 times that. And sure enough, he did. Now, if he bought the product and he didn't believe in it, I don't think that same story still happens. But he said he believed in it. He just didn't. He kept giving the excuses that he was listening to from everybody else and turned them into himself, turned them into his own excuses, his own feelings, his own struggles, and didn't buy it either to believe in it enough. If you're selling any product that you guys are selling, especially if you're selling yourself, you believe in what you're saying and you are truly doing that. Here, great example. What did we say when we just went live? Different kind of we were having a different conversation, but we talked about it being on stage. I think Nigel likes to say that as well. And anytime I teach training like we're doing here, uh, when you're on stage, when you're in front of a customer, they don't know what's going on outside these walls, outside of between us right now. So that that being able to shut that off and find that person's wants or needs is huge. But being able to do it and believe it yourself is even bigger. And again, it's just all about believing. In the end, believe what you're selling, whether it's yourself. Uh, you have to believe. You have to
Mhm.
believe.
Now,
It all
there's
starts up
another
here.
level to that,
Take
right?
it.
And
Yes.
when you look at that, just that story from Zig Ziglar, one thing Zig Ziglar said is he said, this is the best cooking products on the planet. Not only is this the best cooking product, your food tastes better, it's healthier. And he went through a multitude of things, and that is the nucleus of what believing in what you do is. Like, as a logistics consultant, as a freight broker, as whatever the word is you want to call yourself. I used to call myself a value and solutions architect. That was
Oh,
my title as a
oh,
salesperson. But in the end, I was a salesperson. And DJ, the when everything changed for me is when I started believing that I was the connection for people that wanted to renovate their kitchen, that just saved 20, 30, 40, 60, $80,000 to renovate their kitchen. When I believed that I was a connection point for anyone that wanted to buy a new car. When I believed I was a connection point for people that wanted better tools in their kitchen. And I'm just going through all of my customers, right? When I
mm,
believed I was a connection point for those people that want to go out and enjoy a really good meal, right? Like, if I look through all of my customers, I believe I was a connection point for people that wanted extremely clean, beautiful looking cars and didn't want to take an entire afternoon to do it. For me, that was the belief system that changed everything. And it helped me engage my team, because here's a couple of things when it comes to belief in what you sell. You could believe wholeheartedly in what you do as a sales rep. If you don't believe in your team, if you don't believe in your company, if you don't believe in your managers, you will lose. It's just what it is, because there will be a point in the conversation before you even move freight with the customer that says, "Hey, what about XYZ and I don't know, operations?" And your voice will change, the tonality, the vibration that people pick up. So often, I mean, I know for myself personally, I'm consistently working on my intuition. Like, I can tell when people are up to things before they're even up to them.
yeah,
And I've for years I've done it. And I think as a salesperson, you have to, because as a prospect speaking to you, we have to decipher, okay, is this the truth? Is it real? Right. So when that
yep,
intuition comes up, the one big thing about intuition that I find, though, and for myself as well as most people, is we focus on our intuition, right? You ever had that feeling where you're like, I'm not really sure,
Oh
we
yeah.
talked about this a lot, where I'm not sure if that carrier is really the right one for it, but it's damn, I
Yes.
got to make this work. But we never pay any attention to other people's intuition. We think, okay, we're masking this. And then we don't think the other person sees it. And here's the thing I've found, anyways, in sales, when you don't bring it to light, the other person thinks you're hiding something, right? Like if you have and I've had plenty of issues
Yeah.
in operations, plenty of issues. I mean, I worked at a company through some of my transitions where he was billing a customer in US funds when it was a Canadian customer, but because the contract didn't say US or Canadian funds, he wanted to make the extra money. I told him to stop doing it. No problem. About a month later, I go back and check with accounting, just say, can you send me this? And he's still doing it in US funds. From that moment forward, like, so the initial time it happened, it knocked down the company credibility in my mind.
Yeah.
Right? It knocked it down to another level. But then when I found out he was still doing it, it annihilated all the credibility in the company. Do you know, from that point forward, for the next 6 months, I didn't close a single deal. Secondly, I moved again. There was a period of about 2 years where I went to about 4 different companies, and I don't really tell anyone this. I don't put it on my, my LinkedIn, this is your profile. It's not on my resume or anything, but I did. I moved to about 3, I think it was 3 different companies. So the third company I moved to, one went under. So I kind of woke up one morning, turned on the computer, and like everything was gone. So that one really wasn't a Dan thing. That was just company went under. But the third one is really where this belief pattern came to light. And I was at the company for about 5 months, and I didn't make one new sale. And I mean, I was at 5, 6, 7 meetings a week. It actually came to the point, DJ, where I stopped and I said, like, do I just suck? Like, is that just what it is? Like, do I just completely suck? And I realized the operations team, I disliked huge. Like, their way of doing it was like, this is the way it's going to be done. And I'm like, okay, but that's not the way the client wants it done. Well, that's the way I want it done. I'm like, okay. So, but you're trying to, as a salesperson, usually when you walk in and you don't have a big book, it's like, okay, you try and kind of adopt to the way people are working and the way people are moving the business. But
Yes,
I remember sitting in the president's office, and he's like, okay, I need to understand what's going on. And as we're talking, I go, I don't trust anyone on your team. Like, I don't trust them. I don't trust the way they're moving business. I'm moving all my own freight, like for the customers I brought in, right? The customers that had stayed with me. I was moving all my own freight. I would email the logistics guys or the operations team and say, here's who you're booking it with. But anytime I went to get new business, it was either like, a one-time deal or something. And that's when it really, because he said, well, how are you supposed, and it's funny because he said, how are you supposed to close deals when you don't believe in the company that's going to run the deal? And I said, I'm not. And it's funny because 3 days later, they let me go. And it was the first position I'd ever been fired from in my life. And it was funny because here's a funny story. It was on my birthday.
Oh
They
my
called
goodness.
me in. Yeah, they called me into the office, and I actually thought I was getting a birthday cake. Like,
No.
yeah. I actually thought, I was like, oh
Oh
my
my
gosh, that's so
gosh.
cool of them. Like, they're gonna actually get me a birthday cake. And I thought, and in my head, DJ, I go, I must have really made a connection with the owner.
Yeah.
And I walked in and I said, well, and they
Wrong
sit me down in
connection.
the office. And as soon as I sit down, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I ain't getting a birthday cake out of this, I don't think.
Oh
And
shit.
it's funny because they handed me a letter. And I remember coming home and saying to Christine, I said, I was just let go. And she's like, what? I said, yeah, I was just let go. And she's like, on your birthday? I'm like, yeah, because we both thought, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm going in for a birthday cake. And it was,
Oh, that's crazy.
it was kind of crazy. But from that moment forward, I knew, like, I really knew, in order to believe, like, you might believe in yourself. And, that personal belief is the starting point of all great achievement. Like if we don't truly believe we can accomplish what we want to accomplish, but where people tend to fall off
Yeah.
and where people tend to, that personal belief gets really skewed, DJ. And I'm talking from a psychological perspective, right? From a personal development perspective, is it's all great that we sit here and say, we do the Stuart Smiley. We're good enough. We're smart enough, and doggone it, people like me, right? And that's one thing. And that you're right, 100%. That is the core of what we do. But I can't tell you how many people come to me on a monthly basis and say, "Hey, I got this product. Are you interested in getting involved?" Like I think we spoke about it on the live. I had an MLM company contact me, and they're like, "This is the ultimate product. You always got a coffee mug on all your shows." And I said, "Hey, I'll try it. Send me some." And what the coffee did was pretty cool. It was like this energy motivational booster, like an energy boosting coffee. So it's kind of like an instant coffee, but it's this energy boosting one. And I found it gave me a little bit more, not that I need it, but it gave me a little bit more energy. But you know what? It tasted like garbage. And I was like, listen, it does, but you guys got to improve the flavor because it literally tastes like kind of like 4-day-old coffee. And I said, I can't go out and sell it, or I can't tell people about it. And that's why I'm not saying the name. I can't tell people, I can't do anything because I would not consume it. And so my question has always become, when I go in for a proposal, when I go in to close a deal, when I go in to do anything, I say to myself, would you use it? Like, would this be something that you would say, hands down, I'll buy right now? And if you can't say yes in a millisecond, then you need to rethink the proposal. It's the reason why it took me probably close to a month and a half to release Inception. I knew the course was good, but I said, would I buy it in a millisecond? No, I need to add this. So I would add another module, or I need to add this, or I need to add a new video series, or I need to add this to the workbook, or I need to add this transition or this philosophy or this. And then when it was finally ready, it's like, okay, in a millisecond, I'd spend $5,000 to take that home because I know it's going to make me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for that $5,000. Yeah. The ROI is insane. And when I was in sales in logistics, it was the same thing. Hey, does this rate, and on every level, for a 1 pallet shipment, for an ocean container, for everything, does this, if I was in your shoes, would I say yes in a millisecond? Yeah. And if the answer is no, I'm huge proponent of go back and redo it. And if we go back to Zig, Zig cooked with that product. Now, I don't know, do you do the cooking in your house?
No, Maggie.
Okay, so I do the cooking in my house. I love specific pans, and like if I'm making an omelet, there's one pan I use because I can literally go and the omelet goes up and turns around. It's just the way the edges are cornered and all that. I would sell that to make omelets all day long. And I would sell it to everyone that enjoys an omelet, 1,000%, because I believe in that product.
You believe in it. Yeah.
100%. But here's an even bigger thing for everyone watching and listening. If you believe in your customer's product, now you've got another level of motivation. And I've told you all the story about owning a silver car, going to a black car. My wife got me this F1 wax, this washless wax. When I had my silver car, it was all great and dandy. Yeah, perfect. I mean, it takes me 10 minutes to do it, and instead of an hour to clean my car. But when I got my black car, and the spots, and for anyone that's ever driven a black car or owns a black vehicle, you know what I'm talking about. Like, they look awesome when they're clean.
Yeah.
But when there's water spots on it, holy crap, they look like dirt. So when I discovered the F1 wax, what it did to a black car, I immediately called Pizzazz, which is the company that imports it. And it was probably one of the only one-call closes I've ever had in logistics, ever, in 28 years. Because this guy was just like, holy crap, your enthusiasm about our product is crazy. And for me, there's like that double layer belief system. And I don't even want to do the just two choices because they're kind of both here. They're both going to go straight line. The belief in ourselves and what we can do, right? We are information processors. We are the ones that deliver information above anything else. We deliver ease, peace of mind, and information, okay, as a broker, really. When you look at the nucleus of it, it's really what we do, right? We pass information from one point to another, and we make a profit in between.
That's correct.
But we do get paid for our relationships, like you said, twofold: customer, supplier. We get paid
Mhm.
for both those relationships. Okay. Threefold: team, company, right? How many people have you ever spoken to that said that they're really good at their job and their company is a gong show? Like, wrong invoicing. As a corporation, we have to protect the integrity of our salespeople and the integrity of our brand. So I know salespeople that love the career, really dislike their company,
Yeah.
really dislike their company, and they're either afraid to leave or they feel tied down. And I can't tell you how many conversations I have going, you do realize you have like 10 levels more of productivity inside of you. And if
Yeah.
you would just believe in your team, in your company, and everything, you would triple your sales in a third of the time, because that's what happens when we believe, right? Like to me, if you have any hesitation in picking up a phone, in sending an email, in saying to somebody, buy my stuff, buy my service, let me help you get to that next level. If there is any hesitation, DJ, I truly believe you need to stop, not pick up another phone, not make another email, or make another email, send another email. You need to stop and really think about what you don't believe in.
Yep.
Like, what level do you not believe in? Because it's all fixable if you choose to. Sorry, that
Absolutely.
was a really long rant. I know.
No,
Wow.
no, that was great. I mean, I didn't even want to cut you off because it was so good and there's so many pieces to it. What's up, Ryan? Oh, this topic. What? I can't read it.
Love this topic. Had a casual conversation yesterday with my barber, asking if I get time off. I was thinking to myself that my career never feels like work. Yes, 100%, because you love it. You love the people you're with. You love the interaction. You love what you're doing. You love the results. Brian says the more you believe, the more you will believe. 100%. And then good old Gary, welcome, my
Hey,
friend from
what's
Hope,
up, Gary?
Arkansas. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. So yeah,
Welcome, everybody.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, yeah, and you did. So you obviously there's the belief in yourself, and you went deeper into, and that's what I'm glad you did. The levels. Your ops team. If you don't believe in your ops team, well, then you got to, like you said, take a step back and figure out what is it that you don't believe. Try to get on the same page. Try to instill beliefs, or at least just work with each other. Again, I think the biggest thing we try to show on this with our show is about teamwork and really just collaborating with each other. Remembering you're on a team. Again, even that. I mean. So going more to my in-home sales days, because obviously logistics, I kind of have been the one-man show as the agent and doing my own ops for a long time. So my experience more of seeing this kind of destruction of just not believing in your team, your the other levels of the organization that you're in. I mean, home improvement. You got the sales guys who sell the windows, and then you got the installers, and the installers say this guy is doing this wrong, and this guy. Uh, but we got to remember we're all on a team and have to believe in each other. Those finger pointing and the, oh well, this is that and this is that's what crushes companies, crushes beliefs, crushes everything. Is you have to find the level of kind of what is there. I mean, I guess it's the mission statement of every company. Find what that mission statement is if your company doesn't have
yeah, but
one.
DJ, there's a
Uh,
lot of. I mean, everybody has
but
mission
it's
statements, but how many
but they
actually?
have to believe it though. They have to
Well,
believe
but
and
how
stand
many
behind what they're
people
saying.
stand by it? Like, think of
Not a
that for a
lot.
second,
Not
right?
I understand,
Like,
but
to
that's
me, a
that's the
mission statement
problem.
is great on a friggin' website, or it's great for somebody to read. But you know what? In
Yeah,
the end, it's what we do, what we believe in, and how we bring ourselves to the challenge, how we
yeah,
step up to the plate every single day, that matters. Not a mission
yeah,
statement, none of this bullshit, none of this comments, like nothing. It's
yeah,
what we do. I've worked at
yeah,
companies
yeah.
that had a mission statement. At no level, none in the company did they adhere to that mission statement. I'm like, hold on, you guys
See
have
that
this. I've
that
spoken to customers, I've solicited people that say your mission statement is this. Well, let's do it. And they're like, not interested. I'm like, then you're not in tune with your mission statement. Like, well, I put it out there because it sounds good. But I think, and don't get me wrong, and I'm going to go on a rant now, but I think this is the biggest issue with every industry is
Mhm.
like, and logistics specifically, right? It's all about the money, right? Like you can make a lot of money as a broker. You can make a lot of money as a broker. Like I've watched it up until, and I'm sure it's the same way because it was only like 2.5 years ago when I stopped watching companies that bring salespeople in and always take them to the highest grossing salesperson in the company and say, "Oh, this is what they made,"
Yep.
and,
Always.
and it's like, I get it. I worked for a company that talked about, the hardest working and da 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 da, but there was slackers left, right, and center. Like so you're not hiring to your mission statement. And even more than that, DJ, for me, I've found in my life in logistics, when I didn't believe in my managers, um,
Mhm.
it was some of the least performing times of my life.
If you don't believe in your leaders, and who's supposed to be leading you? I mean, obviously, that's going to come down to leading by example. And if they're leading by example, that's going to give you more to believe in. But yeah, if you don't believe in your leaders, you got to find somewhere else. That's
Mhm.
and what's Gary say? Living the dream,
He says,
guys.
living your dream, guys, you're only as good as your team. You can sell it
Yeah.
all day. However, excuse me, if operations is not buying into your sale, you're screwed. And you know what? Gary's absolutely right. And Sharon, hey Sharon, how are you? Sharon says it starts
Hey,
at the top. Leadership can make or break team spirit. You know,
exactly.
I honestly feel um in today's day, most managers or leaders, get promoted are way out of their league. And I'm sorry, anyone who's a manager or leader, but like if you're not consistently improving, so like I'll give it to you, like, and again, totally my opinion, DJ. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Of
but I
course,
I feel it's needed to say it. If you
absolutely.
have not helped improve yourself in the last 30 days, if you've done nothing to improve yourself in the last 30 days, tried something new, read a book, watched a couple of videos, but not just watched the video, like a YouTube video, like you sent me a couple
Yeah,
of
yeah,
really good ones,
yeah.
but
Like
I
actually
take pieces
implement
from it
it.
and apply
Yeah.
it, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. Because shelf help is real good, right? Like I got a bunch of books behind there. I've read every single one of them, and every single one of them has given me a nugget to help me get further ahead. Do I
Yep.
sometimes forget? Get into a rut, go back. Oh my God, why wasn't I still doing that? And then get back on the horse for sure, because we're human,
Yeah,
we all do it. But if you have
absolutely.
not helped yourself in some which way, shape, or form, if you're a manager and you have not sat with team members in the last month because you're stuck in it behind a door, you suck. And I'm sorry, I'll say it as straight as friggin' day. You're horrible. You don't deserve to be in that position. If you're a manager and you don't go out on the floor daily, every second day, twice a week, and just talk to your teams, talk to your people that in essence serve you, you suck.
You suck.
You're
Yeah.
horrible. Go get a job at McDonald's or something and learn what a true team is meant to be. There's a high, I believe in it so much that, as a
I love it.
mentor, as a team lead, as somebody, like even if right now you're saying, well, all my guys are remote, because now I don't know about you guys, but we went back into, like, Ontario went back as a Friday. They now said, or I think it was yesterday or something, they now said, if you can work from home, you must work from home. Right.
Wow.
So listen, that makes, like, what we're going through right now with COVID makes it a little bit more challenging. But you know what that means, DJ? That just means get off your ass and do a little bit more to make things happen for your team. Take the
Yeah.
time and maybe stop going into 17 different meetings that don't mean shit for the end result of what the goal is for your team. Like if as a leader, as the guide, as the main person that is responsible, like in your company, in my company, in anyone's company, if you're responsible for results and helping your team become the best they can be, and you haven't called them, even if they work remotely, or you haven't gone out and had a conversation with them, why are you even in that position? You don't belong there. Like, you really don't. And I'm sorry. I know I'm very passionate about this one because I've had some great managers in my life and I've had some horrible managers in my life. And again, personal responsibility, right, DJ? I can't tell you how many times, like, because when we talk about things, everything I talk personally that I talk about, I've experienced, because
Yeah.
it's not something I'm just going to fabricate in my head. I can't tell you how many days that I've lost, weeks, months that I've lost, years that I've lost in my career because I was pissed off at a manager because they said something that upset me, or I'm like, screw that. I'm not making this company any money today. And I'm like, dude, I'm on commission.
Yeah. Yeah. What
Like,
am I doing?
so I'm unemployed today
But
because I decided not to do it.
that is how a leader, and with to Sharon's point, that's how a leader can really, if they're not driving the belief to you of believing in what you're doing and leading by example, how it could affect not just now them, but the team. And if they're doing
100.
it to not just you, but the team, then the whole team, like you're saying. And oh yeah, I've been a part of so many companies like that. I can't even name.
Mhm.
That's
And you know, it's funny
so,
because I think it was during the marathon where we were talking and we asked the question, at what point, I think it was Shaylin Dixon, at what point do we lose that in companies? And some companies never lose it, but some companies you're hired, and for lack of a better term, we're a number, and there's no personal conversation. And I guess, hey, listen, if you're like, the president of Nike, is it going to be tough to talk to every single people in the company? Yeah,
of
for
course.
sure. But if you're the president of Nike, you have your direct managers, you better be checking in with them daily, right? Like, and then they check in
Well,
and they check in and they check in,
exactly. That's what I was going to
right?
say. Yeah, it's leading by example, though. If they're checking in and when they're doing their check-ins, they're saying, make sure you're looking at this, make sure you're asking this, make sure, and that's going down, it's not going to die anywhere. If it is, where's it
Yes.
dying? They're clearly not doing their job. Uh,
Mhm.
as leaders, we have again. I think the biggest struggle with most leaders, and I've had a few leadership roles, and I've fallen into those habits. I think a lot of leaders, though, they feel once they have a team. I mean, once you're a leader of anything, even just a small team of selling. Now, obviously, anybody who knows this, anybody who's been in this role, you're typically, if you're with the right company, I've had a lot of leadership roles where I was in charge of people and I made nothing. I was just in charge of people. But typically, you benefit in some way from that. But
Mhm.
you have to then help them benefit by you being the leader. And
Mhm.
if that doesn't work together, then you're kind of screwing everybody. But I think a lot of leaders fall into the, well, now everybody else is doing pretty good, I can sit back. Well, no, that should be your time to really focus on your craft, figure out your team, figure out where they're failing or where your lowest guy. Again, every team, 80% is being done by 20% of the team. So what's
Mhm.
your other 80% of your team doing, and how can you help them? That's what you should be looking at as a leader. And if you're
Yeah,
not
and as
focusing on
that
that, then
guide, I love saying guide. I think Donald Miller
yeah,
put it
yeah,
great in Story Brand, where he says, like, you want your customer to be the hero of the story, and we want to be the
I mean,
guide, right? We want to be that guide that helps them get up Everest.
yep.
Because when they climb Everest on their own, like you think about, and I often think about it like this: like, imagine if they put a trolley that took you up Everest, right?
Everybody would
It
do
would
it.
not mean the same thing,
No, not at
right?
all. Not at
Right.
all.
So
Yeah,
as a guide, we can show people where to put their feet to best help them get up there. But if you look at it, how many people go out to climb Everest and don't make it? And I'm not saying die, don't get me wrong, just they don't make it. They can't
yeah,
do it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the guide helps them get further than they could have gone on their own. And that's what I believe the position as a manager, a team lead, whatever you want to call it, is the guide. They're the guide to help their
Absolutely.
team. But if we don't get ourselves to that point, we can't guide anyone. I mean,
Yeah,
I've had managers that have been so far out of the sales world that they're speaking, and we'd be in a room of like 30, 40 reps, and they're speaking, and I'm looking around the room and I'm like, everyone's disengaged because they know that's not reality. Like, it's not what it is. So as a guide, I think as a leader, as a leader, as a guide, we have to educate, train, enhance our skills, our strategy, our everything about us twice as fast as anyone else,
yeah,
because that's what they're looking for to us for. Like I mean, it would be probably a massively staggering statistic to hear how many people are not living their true potential in their, now let me rephrase,
Oh,
in their career, DJ,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, again, a different thing, a job versus a career. If this isn't a career for you and it's just a job, and I'm sorry, but you're not going to put the time, energy, and effort into it to become the best you can be, right? But if this is
Yep.
your career, this is how you're going to feed your family, this is how you're going to keep a roof over your head, you owe it to your career, you owe it to your next customer, you owe it to them to be at the top of your game. And part of that game is belief in what you sell. And if we go into back to the beginning, because I know we got way off topic, but I know I don't
No,
think we did. I don't think
I
we
don't
did. I
think
think we
so.
just
I mean, it was all
we just kind
belief.
of took,
Yeah.
yeah, we just took tentacles out and we're bringing
It
it
was
all
it was
back
the
in.
it was the different levels of belief and where they can
Mm-hmm.
fall and how they can affect. Really, I
Yeah,
mean, going into the team, yeah, it's
yeah. Morning, Jeff.
yeah. Morning, Jeff.
Jeff says, be a leader, not a follower. I was blessed to have some of the best leaders over the years. One of them was my best man at my wedding. 100%. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I found, and you met Bobby. Bobby was on our show.
Oh yeah.
So Bobby was my first customer ever, right? He was a guide to me.
Yeah.
Like it's not just, personal development gurus or sales coaches, or like, it's not. Everybody, I mean, I've had people that have just walked into the industry that have been a guide.
Yeah.
Like, and I've said da da da, and they go, "What about da da da?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like you're a genius!" And they're like, "Really?" It's kind of like, have you ever been in a football pool and the person that comes in and says, "Oh, well, dolphins are so much cuter than tigers. I'm going to go with the dolphins this week," right? And the
Yeah.
dolphins win. It's like,
Yeah.
how is that meant? Like it's these,
That's
we
so
meet people in our
funny.
life, we meet people in our career, and I believe everyone that we come in contact, I'm a firm believer of this. We can glean something from them to enhance ourselves, because that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us human. We all have different beliefs, right? I,
Absolutely.
I hate shoveling snow, but I believe winter is one of the greatest seasons on earth. You
Amen.
talk to somebody in Mexico, California, or Florida, and they're like, hell, you talk to Canadians that fly south for winter, they're like, you're smoking crack. It's not. It's not fun at all. I don't like it.
Or I don't like
We
snow
all
either.
have, right? Exactly. It's like I was telling you before we came on, right? On Friday night, I had my first real big welding project, and I kind of mapped it out on the floor of my garage, and I started getting down. I started welding this snowmobile ramp. And with every weld, I tried to get better. And by the time I was done, I was welding a beautiful, in my opinion, a very beautiful bead. Now, am I going to continue to get better? Sure. I literally just got scrap steel, and all weekend I'm perfecting that bead. But that's because I want to get good at it. Right. So I think that is the first step in all achievement, is you have to have that desire to get better. Like, for all
Exactly.
salespeople out there watching and listening, do you not have a desire to bring better customers into your world? Do you not have a desire to have better conversations? Do you not have a desire to move your sales sequence faster? And I'm not talking about moving it faster so you can get more commission. I'm talking about moving it faster so you can serve clients at a higher level, so you can get them in and help them start achieving their goals. These are belief systems that I believe we have to have if we want to get better. Sure, I could have sat there and I could have not tweaked the wire control or not tweaked the voltage control when I was welding, but what would that do? Like, it's just going to frustrate me. So why would I do it? But how many salespeople get so frustrated, and then I'm stop making calls for a month, and then go back and start making calls, and then all of a sudden it's like they strike it, just happen to strike while the iron's hot somewhere. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, yeah, I'm back on top. And they don't continually educate. And I don't know. I mean, I know I'm beating this horse pretty bad, DJ, and I apologize. I just think, we can
No,
do more, be more, and achieve so much more in our lives if we just take 2 seconds and say, okay, where do I really want to be? The call we're having this afternoon, we've got a 2-hour call scheduled this afternoon for 2022, right? But it's where do we want to be? And not only where do we want to be, it's select individuals that can have that call and stick to it. And it'll be interesting. because there's a reason why there's statistics that 98 or 97% of New Year's resolutions don't come true. It's because it's a great idea, but when we realize the investment in that belief, I think it changes things. And to be the best salesperson you can be, you have to invest in yourself. Time, energy, effort, not necessarily financial, but time, energy, effort. Most of the time financial, actually, I shouldn't say that, but you have to invest in yourself. It's like, if I want to become better at welding, I have to invest in steel to weld or go and find it. So invest time to go and scrimmage it around, go to the local scrapyard, ask, I have to invest in the materials to make it happen. And I have to invest my time in watching videos or training education, right? YouTube,
Yep.
perfect place. But B,
Exactly.
doing it. Like, it's great. And I think and I'm sorry, I know I'm monopolizing this, DJ, and I apologize, but
No,
it's
you're good. You're good.
like, I think we as humans, we go into a situation where it's okay, I need training on this. So we watch the training and it creates that dopamine drip. It creates that good feeling. We're like, oh yeah, this is awesome stuff. And then we walk away. We're like,
Then we
man, that's
don't.
awesome. I
Yeah.
learned a lot today. And we walk, like, you think of the marathon we had, okay, last week, right? That 8 hours, the
It was insane.
people, the education, the strategy, the like the baseline tactics, the conversation, and then to close it all out with the customers for 49 minutes, everything you ever want to have a massive career was talked about on that day.
Yeah.
The question becomes, how many people are going to see that? And how many people are going to act on it? Like, just if you take qualifying out, Nigel, understanding the power of choice, Rico, Brian Byro, fully present, engaging in the woo and seizing the window of opportunity. And you can go down the line. Andrea Waltz, go for no, the no strategy. No, yes is the thing. No is how we get there. The plan from Shay, Nicole talking about the structure and the team and content. And Sharon talking about what's possible for people out there, especially women that really want to scale and build. And then you get into customers. And I mean, like, all the different people have, Joe Lynch talking about, the visibility function of sales, and
Catherine going to the top.
Catherine going to the top. It's like we look at all of these, and if we just take one little nugget from each of those speakers, you got 14 nuggets
Lots.
that can
So
transform your life. I've said many times, 12 months. Give me unrestricted 12 months. Trust me. Give me, and was it Ryan? I think Ryan sent us this one thing. Give me 5% of your trust, I'll earn 95%. 12 months, you can change your life. 100%. Everything and anything you've ever wanted in life can be changed in 12 months, but you have to be dedicated and you have to do it. And the challenge is, people fall off after 90 days, after 120 days, after 6 months, because it's not happening. I've been chasing this mission for years. And every day I'm just as dedicated to chasing the mission. And anyone that tells me anything different will go in one ear, echo, and go out the other. Not even paying attention to, because I am no interest in listening to anyone. This is what I believe in. If they don't believe in it, they'll fall off my radar very quick. It's just what it is. But that's belief. That's the belief. And for
that's
us,
the power of belief there. Yeah.
100%. And for us in sales, that's what we we have to believe we can get our customers to where they want to go. If we believe that passion and everything comes through in our voice, it comes through in our face, it comes through in our presentation and everything. And you know what? That is more, people buy that more than they buy price, more than they buy structure, more than any of that crap. They buy your passion.
True.
If you're passionate about it and you believe in it, it comes through in everything you say and do. Oh, we got tons of, holy crap.
Hey.
We got tons of comments here. Management with an open door. If an associate comes into your office, you drop what you're doing and listen. Yeah, I mean, it's the woo, right? Being present that Brian was talking about.
Yes.
Motivation doesn't last, discipline does. Ryan and DJ, where I'm going to go with this right away.
Yes, I know exactly.
We're going back to Zig Ziglar, because Zig Ziglar said, yeah, motivation is like taking a shower. Right? You take a shower in the morning, you're dirty by the night. So you need to remotivate. And you know what, Ryan? Here's another thing. So Wayne Dyer said this so eloquently, and God bless his soul. He said, Motivation is when you push. Like you're pushing yourself to the finish line when you're motivated. When you're inspired, that's when your mission grabs a hold of you and pulls you.
Oh, I
And to
like
me,
it. Oh
yeah.
my
And
God.
think about that. And here's the thing. Think about this for a second. Right? Something comes up, an idea, a strategy, and you don't sleep. And the next morning, you have more energy than if you slept 9 hours.
Yeah.
Right? That's when you're inspired, not
Yeah.
motivated.
True.
Inspiration grabs a hold of you and pulls you like faster than you can believe past the finish line. When something inspires you, rest becomes irrelevant. Energy, it's like you don't even have to worry where you're getting energy from. You wake up and you're like, yeah. And I think I told you,
Let's go.
our
Yeah.
days when we do these shows, I wake up with a completely different mindset than on the days we don't.
Yeah.
One of the big reasons I'm dying to move the show to 5 days a week in January, because I think if everyone wakes up with us, we can help them create a dynamic future for themselves and the belief in themselves and truly help them achieve their goals. That is my firm belief about this show. And
Agreed.
hence the reason so much energy is being put into it. There's no money being made. This is our free time, DJ. We're out here. We're creating all of these topics to talk about to help sales reps get where they want to go.
That's right.
Like there's no GoFundMe page, there's none of that. This is
Yep.
but that
This is it.
inspiration to get them to that finish line is everything. And
Exactly.
if you guys
But
if you guys are I
and
know
it
you're
all
an
starts
Audible
with
guy,
belief.
right,
It all
DJ?
starts with belief, though. It's
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
starting with belief. That
Yep.
inspiration is coming from the belief that we can do that, that
Mm-hmm.
we can touch and reach enough sales reps to change their life.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the
And I know
inspiration
you're
is
an
coming
Audible
from.
guy.
Yeah,
Go and
yeah.
grab Wayne Dyer's Inspiration.
Oh yeah, I will.
It is, I mean, that book,
Uh,
his training series and everything, it it like as you're listening, you're like, oh my Lord, yes. And
yeah,
that's really, I believe, right? In sales, like what products inspire you? If you're a salesperson right now and you might be having a problem with belief, right? Whether it be belief in what you're good at, and I know, oh crap, DJ, you're way past the time you said you had to go. I'm sorry.
all good, all good.
Like if you're a salesperson right now and you're struggling with anything when it comes to belief, start looking at products and services or whatever it is that you're selling that you believe in.
Yes,
And that will change because the conversations you have when you believe in the product. Ryan, you're perfect for it because your energy levels have gone up tenfold since we had this conversation and you started directing your calls to things you believe in, products you believe in. Those products you believe in, or if it's a geographical area and you're from Kansas and you're saying like, I want this is my town or this is my area. I love this place. So you do a geographical niche as opposed to a commodity niche. Or if you believe wholeheartedly in being the absolute best at OD and overdimensional than you do in that. Like whatever it is you believe in, product, services, value, whatever, start there and literally put your horse blinders on as if you were a horse in a race. Stop looking elsewhere because
yep,
when we look elsewhere, other people's false emergencies pull us away from our goals, from our mission, from our desire, from our dream, achievement, ambition. And because of that, we get distracted. And the thing when we get distracted is we lose that inspiration
yep,
for what we're doing. Motion creates emotion. As you take one step forward, you're going to get inspired more. You're going to get inspired more. You're going to get inspired more. And soon will be the day where you wake up on Monday morning, you're like, I cannot wait to start selling. And I cannot wait to find and I guess, DJ, let's rephrase that. I cannot wait to find the next person that needs what I have to offer so I can help them get where they need to go. And I think we
exactly.
start, right?
Yep,
See it, that even changes the energy and motivation in that statement for us to be
absolutely.
more, do more, and achieve more. Again, I apologize. I'm very passionate about this topic. I love that you picked that topic. See
Oh,
the power
that
when it comes
it,
to the spontaneous conversation is awesome.
it was insane.
Believe in what you say. I wrote a couple of things down. Believe in your team, company, and self. Believe your service is the best, and believe in what you say.
Yes,
Some
Yes.
things I say, some people are like, whoa, did he just say that? But I believe in it. I'm going to say it. I'm going
Yeah.
to call managers out that aren't taking care of. If you're a manager right now, and here's the thing, DJ, I sell programs to managers, so I should be very careful as to what I say. I don't care. If
No,
you're a
no.
manager and you're not helping your team achieve their next level, you should not be in that position.
Yeah, because in the end, your non-belief or you not being inspired is destroying your team, and that's really what it comes down to.
Bingo.
You're not helping enough other people reach their goals because you just don't have the belief in what you're doing. Again, I think you made the most powerful statement there. Yeah. Whatever you guys are doing, take this next 2 weeks. It's going to be a lull for a lot of people. Take these next 2 weeks. Start figuring out, do you believe, and if you're struggling at all, where are you losing that belief? Is it your leader? Is it your ops team? Is it and you don't and here's the caveat, guys. Don't It's not just a okay, jump ship and find something else, but can you does it have anything to do with you? Can you help align those beliefs? Can you help to bring a conversation to align beliefs, or do you just have to part ways? And that might be the direction you go for the new year. But again, guys, listen, it's in the end, whatever we do when we wake up, like Dan said, we both do. When Dan told me his mission, when we first approached me and said 10,000 sales reps, $1 million GP, I'm like, yes, I'm in. That was it. I don't know the strategy. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know his plan. I didn't know his program. I didn't know if his program was full of shit or garbage or what it was. I was like, yes, I'm in, because just that got me. That got to me because I've seen a lot of leaders, and it seems like that's where Dan's coming from. A lot of leaders that they got there, they're in their cushy spots, and they forget their team. No, your spot up there is to help lead your team to basically see which one wants to drive up and fight hard enough to take your spot so you can go to the next one. So you leaders that are out there not training up, you're failing too. Train your guys up to take your spot. Don't be afraid of
DJ,
them
can I
taking your
ask you a
spot.
question? Because I think this would bring, and I've never asked you this question before. So this
No,
is, put you on the spot and be honest,
yeah, yeah,
like deliver to the audience, pure transparency.
full
You
transparency.
knowing the mission that we are now on together. Do you think every decision I make is geared towards that mission?
Absolutely. I
See,
think you're. I
that's
think you're
what we
fine.
talk about.
I think you're fine tuned. And here's the thing, guys. To Dan's question, so everybody watching, leaders, especially in their positions, Dan asking that question, I know it because anytime that he is not doing something, adding more content for the program, which he is every day. Catherine now is in there with selling to the C level. I mean, there's more and more stuff being into a program that's already amazing as it is, but it's
Hmm.
because he wants for that, and his inspiration for 10,000, it bleeds it. It bleeds
Yep.
it into everything that you see in
Hmm.
there. And
Yep.
that's literally what we're trying to do here. Again, we're not trying to beat salespeople up, beat leaders up, beat anybody up. Everybody has a right position. Sometimes don't fake yourself to plug yourself where you think you need to be because it marks certain check marks. Uh,
Hmm.
and just, you got to know what you're passionate about. We have a passion for
Yeah.
sales. I love everything that has to do with sales, but it's because to me it's more than sales. It's about people, it's about relationships, and it's about reading and like you said, reading and knowing other people. Um, and and the psychology behind it, the mindset behind it, all of those things are really what I love. Not the commission,
Hmm.
not tricking somebody or some new conniving way to smooth talk somebody into doing something they shouldn't. No, I want to. We have a problem. Our problem is there's a lot of salespeople who aren't getting the guidance in this industry to do what we've been able to somehow wiggle our ways through this crazy world to do, and we want to help people do it. That's what we want. These other companies, it should be their driving force. I've worked at a lot of companies being in this. The few that, I mean, shit, basically everyone I've been with up until where I'm at now, they will only teach you enough to see if you can figure it all out on your own. That's
Mhm.
not the way to do this, guys. You should be building up your teams. You should be investing more into the stuff like we're trying to do to get them to realize that it's not about undercutting cost, the lowest freight wins, just BS. Say you have a truck, all of these things. It's about having and believing in what you have to sell, whatever your solution is. Again, it's not selling, it's a solution. So believing in your solution and finding the people who have the problem that your solution is going to answer.
Beautiful. I'll end it with a quote today. So
Yes, go ahead.
motivation motivation is when you're pushing yourself towards your goal. Inspiration is when your goal gets a hold of you and pulls you towards the end. Wayne Dyer.
Wayne
Have a
Dyer.
good day, everybody.
That is a great one. Have a good day, everybody.